didn't even realize, man. You got to...
Yeah, I'm not even going on.
You're not even spitballing, man.
I am picking what I need.
Why don't you have one of those for me on this side with the answer?
You want to switch seats? I'll sit over there. You're watching the Light of Care podcast on YouTube, listening and watching on Spotify. Podcast is about our company, FirstLight Home Care of San Francisco and the Peninsula. Our goal is to provide comfort, company, and respite care to elders in need. This podcast aims to educate seniors and their families about the resources and support available to help them live well and age with confidence. I'm your host, Jim Carteris, and I am very excited today to have a guest, a very good friend of mine, Mark Paretchan. Mark is also an owner of FirstLight Home Care in Marin and Sonoma counties. Mark's been in the business, and I'll let him talk in some detail about this, for some years more than I have, and it's been a great inspiration to me and our company and our firm, and we're partners. Not only we've been friends for 50 years, we're partners 50 years, man.
It's amazing.
Time,
huh?
No, what's great is that, I met with Mark some years back. We're going on 6 years, and I was trying to determine what business I wanted to be in. And so a guy I was riding with, a good friend of Mark's and mine, saying, you really need to talk to Mark Paretchan. Mark's doing this thing, and it's amazing what he's doing, and he's making a lot of headway. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I called Mark as a favor to my friend, hooked up with Mark. I haven't talked to him in a long time. We had a nice conversation, and it was amazing. It's amazing what you've done. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your background, Mark?
I was in the restaurant business for years as a young man. And when you told me you were thinking about the restaurant business, that's when I put up the red flag. No. And that was a couple months before COVID, so that was a good thing. Then I was in the broadcasting business. I started in Spanish radio. I owned TV stations and radio stations, predominantly focused on the Hispanic community all over the country. In 2013, sold the company, and at the same time, my grandmother fell. My grandmother was 103 years old when she fell. And everybody said, oh, that's it, man, And I said, well, you don't know my grandmother because she broke her hip. And long story short, you want to go home, you want to go to assisted living, I want to go home. You need home care. What's that? No idea. Hospital gave me a list of people. I called them. Most of them didn't call me back. I didn't like them anyways. So I thought I'd try to do it myself, and it made me feel good. And hence, that's how I got into FirstLight.
You used to tell me that, the big thing about this business is getting a connection, right? Getting a connection to the client. Right. Obviously, having a connection with the caregivers. Because it does become like a family. And that connection, I think, beyond so many others. And we've both been in business for years, and I was in business environments where, you dealt with a corporate, corporate structure as your client, and it's a whole different kind of mindset, but you're dealing with people's lives here, your caregivers' lives, your clients' lives. It has an impact.
Absolutely, and it's also a big responsibility, right? I feel good every 2 weeks when I cut, 160 paychecks, and knowing that there's 160 families out there that I'm helping survive in this world, right? I feel even better when I get checks from the clients. No, I'm joking. But seriously, no, it's a big responsibility. You have a responsibility for all these wonderful caregivers that work for us, and we know their children, and we know their husbands, and we know them as part of the family. And I want to make sure that I'm taking care of them, right? Yeah. And the other side of the coin is obviously we're in the same boat with the clients, right? Yeah. It's a responsibility.
So you and I both kind of did the same thing in the sense that I wanted to open up close to home, right? I've been in my businesses were different places. I wanted to be close to home. You open your business. I'm literally within 5 minutes of where you live, right?
Yes.
Right in the middle of Marin County, and talk a little bit about what areas you represent. Marin, Sonoma counties.
So we pretty much work from Windsor, California, which is a little bit north of Santa Rosa, to Sausalito. So everything north of the Golden Gate Bridge, right? There's some friends of ours in Napa, but Marin and Sonoma counties north of the Golden Gate Bridge. So our territories almost kind of kiss, man. We have a bridge in between us, right? But you're San Francisco, I'm Marin, right? So it's a nice thing. We're pretty good at matching our caregivers with our clients. Not perfect, but I always tell people up front, I'm going to do the best match I can. But if you don't groove with the caregiver, I understand. And we're not going to dilly-dally around. We'll pull them right out.
You know, what I have found is a lot of our competition don't do that. You know, I think that there's a lot to be said for what we do in that space, right? I mean,
absolutely. And we go deep, like, i.e., I just had a client the other day that said, I'm so frustrated. Why? Because this other agency sent me two people, not one, two, and both of them are allergic to cats when they got here.
Clients should understand, and we like to try to educate our clients, and I'm sure you do too. You know, there's a lot that goes into providing that match and to have that ongoing care that you need, that is so valuable, not only to you, but to your family, right? I mean, there's a lot that goes into it.
You know, I talk to people all the time about, you know, you're not really just hiring a caregiver with FirstLight. You're hiring a scheduler. You're hiring a recruiter. You're hiring a case manager. You have a whole team that's working with your family.
If you were to look about your clients or families, do you have any particular stories that stand out for you?
One of my dear friends, I'm taking care of his father-in-law. He's a World War II veteran, and he just turned 101 years old.
Oh, my gosh.
And he's a Marine, and he's a wonderful guy. He wanted to open an account. He saw somewhere there's free accounts for veterans, right? So he went into the bank. He said, I want to open one of those free accounts for veterans. And they said, well, where's your veteran ID? What do you have? I said, I fought in World War II. I don't have any ID. And they said, well, we can't give you the account. So this guy went home and put on his uniform. It still fit. And he walked back into the bank in his Marine uniform. And they said, you see this? Like, okay, sure, we're going to give you the account.
So, you know, let's talk about FirstLight as a company for a second. You know, how do you feel about the support that we get from FirstLight?
I feel blessed that I found FirstLight. I'm constantly amazed at how they are willing to work with us on different issues that come up, different you know, things that happen. They're super supportive. You know, they've rolled out, you know, our new CEO Glee, who was just in this room. She's brought some amazing elements into the company. A
lot of the owners that are up here are because of you. I mean, there's me. There's a few others up in the Fairfield area. So it's definitely grown. A lot of it has to do with your mentorship. And, you know, we call Mark the Godfather. Why do we call him the Godfather? One, he dresses like the Godfather. But two, because of his, you know, his oversight. You know, I mean, I remember when I first opened my office, and there's a couple other owners, and we would get on a call, like, you know, once a month to talk about, you know, basically talk to Mark. You know, what do we need to know?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I wanted the brand to grow.
Yeah,
I really do, because it's good for everybody.
Yeah. If you're going to give a piece of advice, what would it be? And I'm going to jump in first and say, you know, we talk to a lot of, you know, prospective owners, and they always ask the same question. You know, what advice can you give? You know, as we get started in this, and Mark has taught me this early on. Answer your phone, okay? Just answer the phone. Let's start there. If you answer the phone, you know, then everything else starts coming together. It's just amazing how many other agencies don't answer the phone, you know, and if you don't answer the phone, you're not going to be able to help anybody.
I told you guys about my first experience where the hospital gave me the name of 6 home care agencies. 4 of them didn't answer the phone. So there you go. And as an entrepreneur, I said, okay, this is an opportunity.
You know who benefits? Your clients.
Yes.
You know, and the community and the people that you serve. So anyway, let's talk about, you know, how people can reach you.
So right on the screen is my email and my phone number, okay? And you can just right here, it's going to be CG'd right on the screen.
We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate all you.
Absolutely. And for those that want to check us out, you can check out our website at thepeninsula.firstlight.com. Follow us on our social media pages, and our telephone number is 650-486-1310.